Hey, you guys. We are back with another episode. I think this time you guys are going to like this one because we are going to be discussing Nick Cannon and his recent revelations and feelings and opinions about women, and also why men don't value themselves like they need to be valuing themselves, but they uphold us to this higher standard, I guess, if you want to say that.
I guess that's the only way you can say it.
Okay, let me put these clips up here first. Let me share my screen. Which one do I want to? This one first.
I need to be protected.
But what if a girl's like, we need a condom?
Then that
Then we need to step back and have a different kind of conversation.
why?
Because like
Wow.
at a point in my life, I don't want to have pointless sex, and that's usually probably why it ends up. I'm not interacting. I'm not engaging with anybody that I don't really have a true love and like I want to build something with.
What?
I immediately when I see those,
Sex.
Ooh.
anytime a guy wears those Malcolm X glasses, you just know they're gonna be full of crap.
I knew somebody was gonna be. Listen, Nick. I said, he always been a corny guy, but now I don't understand. I don't understand.
That's so weird. I don't
He
want to
got
have
his turban on, and you said his Malcolm X glasses, so that we know he woke, and he is sitting there talking nonsense.
he
Right.
don't want to have pointless sex. She asks for a condom, and that's pointless to you.
Mm-hmm. And you're the one going around having pointless sex because you the one making all these babies.
That
Right. And just spreading his energy and his seeds into everyone. And you can tell he's not spiritually in line because he would know better.
but most of
Right.
them
Like
not. He's
he's
just
supposed to
worse.
be. I don't know. I think his mental is deteriorating. But wait,
It
let me
has
put
to be.
that one.
Someone mentioned before, after that whole debacle with um them trying to cancel him and he had went away or whatever for a bit and he came back and he just started having all these babies and
Mm-hmm.
What did we try to cancel him? Was they canceling him for being performative, like when he was trying to be like pro black and
Yeah,
yeah,
yes,
I remember that.
that's
I
what
was,
happened.
he would be at all the rallies taking pictures. Like if you had a rally, why is you like taking this opportunity to take pictures and pose at the rally? And I don't know.
people want to be seen and seen in a certain way instead of just giving support, not making it about them personally, but giving to the cause, spreading awareness for people who listen to you. It was probably just something.
Something for him to do.
Yeah.
Basically, and I was just like, I couldn't believe people was really falling for it. Cause I'm like, y'all can't tell that this is like so disingenuine, like it's so performative. Like, why are y'all falling?
It gave
It's
off
so cute.
Karen vibes. You know how some of the palm colored people were showing up to the Black Lives Matter things and posting pictures like we're out here protesting.
Yeah.
That's what
But
it
it was,
gave
you know
off.
what, during that time, especially last no, during not during George Floyd, but what was the other little boy? The boy that died in Flint.
Um, I
You
know
know,
what situation you're talking about. I cannot
yeah.
remember the name.
During that time, a lot of you had J. Cole out there, you had Nick Cannon out there, you had all these celebrities that was flocking out there
Mm-hmm.
and getting called out in the process for doing all that stuff during that time. When y'all was showing up to them rallies in Flint, acting a whole fool, taking pictures, grabbing the mic, it was just too much.
Because
And
nothing still got done. I mean, it's sad, but it's like y'all didn't use your celebrity to help push anything forward.
not at all.
Not
So
a
you got
thing.
canceled and came back and decided, okay, well that route didn't work, so now I'm about to go. So now I'm about to go this route.
I just don't get it. I don't. I think Nick is losing it. I think he thinks he's doing something here. Oh Jesus, it's all of them in a picture. Okay.
That's quite a bit. Well, yeah, 6 of them.
So he has a type.
Thinking
Picking
up the
up the
room.
room.
Like,
Wait, let me go back. Take it back.
do
Do
y'all
y'all
know
know
when
when
y'all
y'all
stinking
stinking
up the
up the
room?
room?
Like, because
No, he did not. Did y'all hear what Nick had says? He gonna come out here. Why he's always doing this? Says 80% of women is stanky. You know.
Child.
If 80% of women is stinking, why
And
is
if
he
they
still sleeping with all these women?
I guess because it's like if you smell, he gonna tell you. I don't know, but was my immediate reaction to this when Nick said, "You gonna sit your community peeing behind up there and say 80% of women be stinking up the room? Can't y'all not tell?" Okay, everyone has pheromones, so everyone has their own scent. That's for one. But for two, Nick, you got community pee. Do you not know what community peeing can do to a woman?
he
They
was
don't
probably the
know.
one giving out the trichomonas because he's got a
He's
dirty
the one spreading the
penis.
I swear to God,
BV.
that was the first thing I thought of. Like, you the one that's. Oh my God.
You're sharing BV to everybody. What are you talking
Basically,
about?
basically, that's why you know what, guys need to leave us out of it. Leave us alone, cause y'all
Most
don't
of them
know.
don't know though. That's the thing. Most of them do not even know
Y'all
like
don't know
what
what
they're
y'all talking
doing.
about.
Like
That instantly hit my mind. Like, you sleep with random people all the time, and you going back and forth. That can't be healthy for a woman's pH now.
it's
Of
not.
course it's not.
It's not. But then he just in that first clip you showed where the woman was like, "Oh, I want to use a condom." He was like, "Oh, well, we got to have a different conversation, sir. You should be using all types of condoms."
Okay, I'll just hold on just one second. Just break down that whole mentality. Why do you think you're such a king that you don't think I deserve to be protected? Are
From
you
you,
not
exactly,
That part.
exactly. If
his
I
mentality is all he's not protecting anybody.
No.
He's self-serving.
So you get to go out here sleep with random women. They have to sleep with you unprotected because if they don't, then it's pointless sex. Breaking down all the things he said. 80% of women don't know how to. They have poor feminine hygiene, and I couldn't find the clip where he said that women should value their pussy because I'm not gonna value it for you. You gotta value it.
But why do you want it if you're not valuing it? It just
Listen, it's the logic. The logic. Don't
it's
be
not.
the
Oh my
math. Don't be
god.
macking. That's why I was like, listen, guys contradict themselves.
Like
Did you see
crazy.
that video that Keita Rose had put out, right? And she was just being funny, like, because we really should start listening to them. So since I have to value my pussy better, my vagina, then I'm just gonna keep my legs closed. I'm not gonna sleep with y'all anymore because y'all told me that I have to value myself. So I'm not gonna do that anymore. And y'all telling me that, guys, I don't want unwanted attention, so I need to watch how I dress. So now I'm gonna dress like a Mormon, and all the things that they tell us we should start doing, and then they're gonna really see how they don't like that because that's not what y'all want at all.
That's it's so crazy that was even like those are even the talking points because they don't even know what they want. They don't have a clue. They will be sitting on podcasts loud and wrong and still don't know what they want. They'll say they want a woman that values herself. They'll marry that woman, but then go out and cheat on that woman, the woman who values herself, with the Instagram model that you can't stay out her DMs.
Right.
And that you probably be complaining at home to your significant other or wife that you can't stand. You know what?
Yeah.
Those girls, I can't stand those girls. They do that for attention, getting all that work done and stuff. But secretly, you like that girl.
You want to put your face in her ass.
Oh,
Right.
they wish.
They wish they want to devour it and then we'll sit back and talk trash. They want to have the $4.99 all you can eat buffet of the Instagram model who just got her butt done by Dr. Curves in Atlanta. That's what they want. And then they will sit back and tell a regular girl who, is regular and working her job and paying her bills and taking care of her kids. Ugh, I can't stand them. But you should get some work done.
No,
Why?
Okay.
they'll tell you that you don't need to. Like, you don't need. You're perfect. You don't need all that stuff. What you want? What you want it for attention? You don't need to get anything done.
Okay, so well, why can't these men live in their truths then?
Because
Where does it stem from?
they would have to admit that a lot of them really have intimate relationships with their homeboys, and they just like to have intercourse with women. They don't really want to tolerate us.
So they're emotionally attracted to their friends, but physically attracted to us.
Sexually attracted, because
Now,
Sexually, okay.
sexually attracted, because a
how
lot of
is
them.
it, Aisha? You was able to get that just like that, right? Now, this has been a long going debate on, I think, on every social media, Facebook, I seen it, Instagram, I seen it. It's on TikTok, it's on Black Twitter, and they're trying to say y'all crazy. Y'all trying to say that we're homosexuals. Y'all trying to say that we don't we
Nobody
want to
said
sleep with our
that.
friends. Nobody said that. Exactly what Aisha said is what we said. We said that y'all would rather have a relationship with your friends. You want that relationship with them, but you're still physically attracted to women. But since you know that we need that intimacy and we require that relationship and that connection, it's kind of like, oh God, I just want to fuck, but I know I'm gonna have to put up with this. And so you just put up with us, but
But
you
you still
you're
mistreat
not
us because you're not meeting our needs.
right.
But I mean, most of them will manipulate a woman. Think about all the podcasts that's out there, all the YouTube university videos out there about how to manipulate a woman into believing that you're emotionally invested in her in order to get the intercourse.
Oh my God, that's evil.
And then what based on what Nick Cannon said, I have to value myself. You're not gonna value me. And then if I don't value myself, right, and say I'm going out with you and I should be just as sexually liberated as you, I'm going out with you and I decide, okay, I would like to take him home or we go to the hotel and I would like to do something with him. Now you're gonna look at me away because I devalued myself, even though you wanted it. Make it make sense. I don't
But
understand.
but see, but they keep missing the bigger ta-da that they always missing. A woman's always devalued right after she has intercourse with a man.
Oh, they
Y'all
instantly.
y'all are what devalue us if we're gonna use y'all's logic.
Right, exactly. It's y'all are devaluing us.
It's like they know. It's like
Mhm.
they know that some of them, because let me use specific terms, people get triggered. Quite a few of them know that they're trash. And that's why they be like, oh, well, you can't, that woman can't be with a bunch of men, or she'll be trash too, or she'll be for the streets. Sir, you are the streets.
Definitely Nick Cannon sitting there saying that. It
Ooh,
was like the audacity.
Nick Cannon
If
just
anyone should be
just a street
valued,
on
no
rodeo. Nick
Nick
Cannon's
is
just a
not
street with
on
money.
Rodeo. He's on West Hollywood on
Oh
the
my
fucked up side
God. Oh my God. Like,
of the
him,
Hollywood side.
him, Future, and Diddy. Well, Diddy calmed down, but it's him, Future, and Diddy. They should be the holy trinity. Cause like
Yeah.
between all of y'all have so many kids. Oh, and no, we gotta add. Oh boy, Elon Musk, he in there now.
Oh
Ooh,
my
Jesus.
God,
Cause he
Jesus
just had them
Christ.
twins by his employer,
Well,
whatever.
his daddy just had a baby by his stepdaughter.
I seen that. I
So,
was so disgusted.
okay, so you have to think his moral compass has to be a little bit jacked up if this man raised him to want to start sleeping with his stepsister.
That
That is
part.
disgust. That reminds me of that guy. What was that? Woody Allen? No, was it Woody
Yeah,
Allen?
Was it
yes.
Woody? I think it
So
was.
disgusting.
Right.
His
So it's
stepdaughter
like,
that he raised.
so you looking at her in that kind of way.
Mm.
When I seen that yesterday, I
That's,
was just, men can't control their penises. I've been saying that for other.
But see,
Like
it's a
men
part of me.
cannot control their penises since you go far back. That's why we had to wear chastity belts back in the day. And your mama told you, your uncle told you, everybody in the family told you growing up to keep your legs closed. And they put that responsibility off on women as if it's our fault, our responsibility to make sure they don't stick it to us. Because they just have no control. They just have no willpower, no control, no responsibility when it
No
comes to
accountability. No accountability. Like even when you just said it, it made me really think. about that clip from TD Jakes talking about we're raising women to be men. And I did a reply. I said, but Bishop, Pastor, if y'all were raising the women to be men, what was y'all raising the men to be? Because they lack self-control and accountability and responsibility. It's so many of them that don't even know how to level up from a cashier McDonald's job to the manager, let alone they yelling that they want to leave, but when you ask them where we going, they don't have no plan. Yeah, it's like it's insanity if you really want to be honest.
These last 2 years, people that I've kind of put subconsciously in my brain as like a person that was kind of up there or
Mhm.
more noble or whatever. I kind of put TD Jakes there, right? Because he's this person that's of religious, connotation and, this and that. But when I think about what he said, it's like showing me that it feels like you can't trust anyone or value their words because there's so much fallacy in the statements that he was making.
Right.
Even he did both his daughters a terrible injustice by the
Mhm.
men he supposedly helped
Yeah.
vet them for their lives.
Right.
Mhm.
So your it just seems like it's all trash, to put it plain and simple.
He vetted horrible men for his own daughters. So how are
Right.
Right.
you gonna sit back? How are you gonna sit back and say we raised women to be men? Did you? But did any of the men in the church expect TDJ's been a staple in the black community since I was a child?
Right.
Think
Wow.
about all
Yes.
the mothers, aunties, and grandmas that have paid into TDJ's ministry, my
Watch
mother included.
TV.
And you guys did not raise the boys whose fathers abandoned them too. That's when the black men in the church should have stepped up to be the example for these men to show them how to protect the community and provide, but they didn't.
No, they was too busy. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not accusing TD Jakes personally, but other people in the church, they use it as an opportunity to become predators and
Correct.
use
Child.
religion as a sheet to pretend like they care, but they were really just
Self-serving.
very.
Mhm.
Self-serving and very judgmental. Because God forbid a woman walk into Sunday service with something that somebody don't see as appropriate.
Sure. You know what was big when I used to go to church? That don't let you walk in with a skirt above your knee. It could be just a little bit above. Or a woman wearing pants in the church. Child.
It took
Everybody
forever.
was talking. Everybody was talking.
Yeah, it took forever. I grew up with aunt and uncle pastors, and then the pastor that I was raised under, it took him. I was well within a teenager before he would even allow us to wear pants in the church. But I guess because of growing up with aunt and uncle as pastors, and my father was a pastor or whatever, I never questioned some things until
Mhm.
stuff started occurring. And then when I went to my aunt and uncle, it's just like, hey, let's sit down and have some of these hard conversations, you know, because these are things that need to be happening. But it's just, it's too much on, oh, women should be doing this, but nobody's checking the men. Nobody's checking the
Exactly.
men.
They are
Absolutely.
running amok. Like it's just really sad because even though I'm not in the church, I don't go to church. I can't really say I'm a Christian anymore. I even though that's how I grew up. It's still so sad, like you said, like because you grew up watching TD Jakes and some of these people, Kim Burrell, right?
Oh
So it's
God.
just so
Ugh.
sad
Yeah.
watching this in lifetime, like just a fall from grace. When TD Jakes came, I felt like that was his fall from grace. That was just like a really low moment.
It
And yeah,
had
people
been.
make mistakes or whatever. And then the one pastor, I forgot his name, that just had to come out about the tithes because he was taking the money from the church.
Oh wow.
Oh, who was that?
I don't know.
I mean, look it up because yeah, he had to come out and apologize. He came out and apologized for taking church money, but it's like it's too late now.
Give
You
me
done
my money back. Can I get a refund? I'm
Oh,
not into. I'm not in church either. As long as I treat people well.
Right.
You know, and I don't know. It's just
I
Oh,
think
Creflo Dollar. But you know what? I'm not even. Oh,
hey,
it's,
not Creflo.
I'm not
wait a
even.
minute. When I first started
Creflo.
seeing Creflo
Oh
on
Jesus.
TV, I was like, this ninja is up to
Looks
no good.
cool,
How
right?
is his last name Dollar?
The
That's what
last
he
name
So
after.
Dollar threw
child, I
me
think
as a
his church is in
kid.
Atlanta, and I swear it was just like I think this was controversy because when I lived down there, I was like, why is people still? His church was like kind of a ways right down the street from my house. Like I was just like, why is people still going there?
Still going there,
He had a
still
jet.
tithing.
He was
Yeah,
going vacationing. Like y'all don't. Where is he? Where is a pastor getting a jet from?
You know, why does he need a jet? You know,
he don't need it.
He
What
but
don't need.
nobody,
you,
ain't nobody checking for Creflo like that.
You
but
supposed to
you
be
know,
a guy serving the church people.
right? Sometimes folks be needing something to believe in, and if you take that away from them, they don't know what to follow because they need to follow something to make sense of this world instead of just taking it one day at a time. You don't really need religion for that, but that's my personal opinion.
It makes me look at things differently. Like again, I was raised in the church, and there were certain things that I decided to have my own personal spiritual relationship that doesn't require me to sit in church 8 hours on Sunday like I was forced to do as a kid. And I know when Mary had their show
Mhm.
on We,
Mhm.
and it came out that Tina's husband cheated, and she
I
was
felt
talking
so bad for her.
Yeah,
she
that was a sad.
it was hard. But when she was talking to Yolanda Adams, and it was this real passionate scene, like you could tell she didn't care the cameras was there, but it came off like she's questioning God, like as if she was questioning her faith. And I said, so don't nobody else see that? I said, y'all, oh, so everybody going, oh, nobody saw that. I was like, the one thing that I do know is, oh, don't question God. That's what they tell you.
Right.
That's how it's ingrained, and that's how it is. And after that scene where she was with Yolanda Adams, and Yolanda Adams just sort of kind of looked like she was caught off guard. And I was like, so nobody in production felt like, hey, maybe that clip is, a private moment that maybe shouldn't be aired across the country. Like, nobody,
No, they want the ratings. What are you
they
talking
wanted
about?
the ratings. And I was like, she went against the whole you're not supposed to question God in that moment, and had a whole Angela Bassett waiting to exhale moment when she ripped that
But
man
that
car
just what
apart.
made it real, though. That made her
Yeah,
human because it's like no
yeah.
matter, like you are her. Like that scene was like,
It was hard. It was hard to watch as a black woman. It was hard.
yeah, I
And
remember. So their show was good, and like it was just interesting seeing their dynamic too with between those two.
their dynamic is crazy to me.
Hmm.
Did
Their
she get back
dynamic.
with her husband or did they get a divorce?
They got
They
back
got
together.
back.
They got back together.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
she gonna
Teddy
stick
ain't went
beside
nowhere. Yep, Teddy ain't went nowhere. And Erica's husband did cheated too. And I was like, Warren ugly. I'm sorry, that's not nice. But that's not nice. I gotta do better. I'm trying to be a better person. But when Erica was telling Tina, like, you gonna have to just, if you gonna stay, then stay. But I went through stuff too. Now wait a minute. So both y'all husbands was
her.
cheating, y'all
Basically, and they just willing participate because they just I don't understand it. That's why I be like sometimes I feel like the church community, the Christian community is like it's very cultish and it could have especially the women in a chokehold
yeah.
Right.
because you will stay in situations and you will stay oppressed and you will stay downtrodden
Mhm.
all in the name of the church and the face and the image and no.
By the time all that stuff came out, what Tina had, what, 4 kids, and Erica was 4 with one on the way. Like,
That's a lot of kids.
that's a lot of children.
They're not
It's
going.
it's it, they were. I don't think that they were leaving. Even if they wanted to, they weren't leaving because the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, that's a Christian woman, and she gonna stand beside her man, and they went through trials and tribulations, but they made it through, honey. Teddy and Warren should be in an
Okay,
apartment
listen.
by
'Cause
themselves.
now we can segue, so because I don't want to stay on the church topic, but it's still good to segue into the videos I'm about to show y'all.
Oh,
Because I think that is why they cheat. Why the topic, why men don't value their manhood as they should. Why Nick Cannon is saying, oh, a female value is in her vagina, but ours ain't. We could just sling it around.
Oh,
Because
gross. I just
they don't look at themselves the same that we look at them. Like they just don't see it. I feel like if anything, honestly, y'all should be the ones valuing yourselves more because the most majority of the time, most of the time, y'all the ones out here being hoes and whores and sluts.
right. I find a man attractive that is very discerning about who he
Right?
sleep
Has
with and
self
who
discipline and control.
yes. Oh, that's such a turn on.
But y'all the ones out here running around looser than a goose. If I go look up some darn statistics, it's mostly y'all that's out here loose.
Right.
mhm.
It's y'all out here that can spread y'all seed around and
Everywhere.
feed several women. Y'all can have obviously Nick Cannon is showing us right now. How many kids he had this year?
Is this the 8th or 9th one?
The baby that was just born is number 8, and apparently there's twins on the way
Got twins
behind
on the
this
way.
8th one.
So
I
yeah, he
don't
had 3. I think he said he might be having 4 this year. So he has spread his seed around. You having 4 children in under a year. But we're
He
the
making
ones.
he making Peter Guns look good.
God, that guy right there, he's another tip.
Child. But we the ones that got to keep our legs sealed and value ourselves. But y'all don't have to have no value. Meanwhile, y'all making countless children in homes and I don't know. But okay, let me pull up these videos, child.
That nut can't be that good. It can't be. That you just
Ugh.
But
gonna
you
spread
said
it
it's
everywhere.
he got arrangements with these girls, so it's probably maybe they don't care. It's Nick, like they don't care.
I mean, if I the opportunity, I would say no, just because it's a bigger picture than what I can gain from it.
Yo, he's the guy that I was looking at earlier. That I think I
You sent this to me.
oh I did. That's right.
Yeah, you be
I
sending
looked
me.
at
You
you
be forgetting.
earlier.
Like good. I be like, you be sending me all the good ones.
What's the biggest lie ever told to women and girls?
That sex means anything to a man. It is an act to fulfill a standard male need. It don't got shit to do with love, intimacy, care, feelings. It don't mean shit. It's no different than taking a fucking piss. If you have ever thought or have ever had sex with a man with the intention or belief or hope that it would lead to love or that it meant anything regarding respect or love for you, you was a motherfucking fool. Why do you think it's so easy for a man to make you a single mother? Because nothing about you becoming a single mother meant a motherfucking thing to him. He don't give a fuck about the sex. He didn't give a fuck about you. He don't give a fuck about that baby. In his mind, he's stuck paying child support to you because he took a motherfucking piss. This is why bragging that you had a man or you had someone else's man is the stupidest shit that you could ever say out your fucking mouth. To that man, it was literally between you and that dirty white beater on the floor. Your biggest competition was his hand and dirty laundry. But go off, sis.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna stop and let y'all give y'all responses to that one first.
Listen,
I'm blown. I'm blown away. I don't know what to say. Wow.
listen. I saw that and I was taken back. So I saved it and I was like, I'm gonna have to come back to it later when I can digest it a little better because I'm thinking about all the time I wasted. Like
Guys.
I've clearly wasted a lot of my life.
But you know what? You think about it though, because I mean, I wasted time too being all in my feels when somebody do something. But what's the one thing? Jay-Z even wrote a fucking song about it. But what is one thing they used to always say when you catch them out there and you yelling at them? She ain't mean shit. That shit ain't mean shit. I don't give a fuck about that bitch. That ain't mean that it's just sex. It's just fucking. It was just a nut. They did say. I heard that.
They've been saying it. They've been saying it's just sex. It's just a nut.
Yeah, it's nothing to them. They don't care. It's just a need that needs to be fulfilled at the moment. Listen, I need to get this off. Let me go over here and get it off. All right, I'm about
Right.
to go home.
Well,
But then
does that have a lot to do with how a man was or boys are being raised to just not value themselves? Because If we raise them to like, do this and do that, how come we not making sure that, because we telling the girls, our bodies are our temples, but are we not saying that to the guys? And that's why they out here just slinging it around everywhere. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah, I mean that could be it too because they don't. I mean, I hope now our generation is wise enough to know that you need to also teach your sons that they need to make wise choices when it comes to that. But I also think it's just really how they're wired. They are just
Right.
that's a chemical thing going on in the
Just
situation with the like that's just how men are generally wired, and then it don't make it no better that I was in his comments earlier, not on this video, on like some
mhm,
other videos or whatever, and some lady made a good point, and she was like, "Women incentivize sex.
Right.
Like you'll have the girl, or you heard about the high school girl who went and gave head to so and so in the girls' bathroom or the locker room, or like we incentivize it for them because that gets her attention.
Right.
So she'll go and do something with him even though he not even deserving of it. And I think that's where that disdain for women comes from when it's like y'all need to value yourselves more because even you're disgusted at the fact that she laid down with you.
Right.
mhm,
You wouldn't even lay down with you.
right.
I don't know.
But it just think about how the guys will pretend like they like that girl in order to get the sex because they've been wired to think that the sex is the most important
And
thing of
girls,
all.
for a lot of girls, especially when you're younger and you don't
Yeah.
know better dealing with the opposite sex, we think,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna throw this on him and then he gonna fall in love.
Mm-hmm.
You could throw it on him, do it flipwards, backwards, upside down, and he is not gonna feel no different
Right.
about you.
He got to already be loving you, huh?
Basically.
And most of them don't. You nice to look at, or if you pretty enough for his homeboys to be like, "Yo, your bitch is bad."
Yeah, so he could get some props.
Yeah. Stroke his ego.
But this guy who was just doing this video, he seems a bit angry.
He had his
I'm
his tone comes off
Now that I
aggressive.
got your attention, how did you like the preview? So
he
last
grabbed
I
your
introduced y'all to
attention.
the term I created called the homotional sexual, the heterosexual man that's physically attracted to women, but emotionally attracted to men. Everybody's so stunned about that realization, but I'm gonna tell you why it happens. So men and women are more similar than most people know or care to acknowledge. As a matter of fact, sorry to the religious followers out there, but women don't come from men. Men come from women. Women are XX, we're XY. The Y is what differentiates us. Half of our XY symmetric chromosome comes from you, but you have none of the differentiating chromosome, the Y, in you. If the Y is the differentiator that makes us male, no male on this planet is YY. So if women came from men, then men would be YY and women would be YX. None of our chromosome is without you, but all of your chromosome is without us. Now, the areas in where we naturally differ, it's a polarizing difference. Those differences, part 3. Now that I got your attention, how did you like the
All right. So I
Wow.
knew this already. Like this is like I love talking about this part, this fact that y'all were all a woman. Y'all was all female in the womb first before,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
it was decided upon that you should be a male and not a female.
Yep.
So it's like the logic here. Like, because for me, when I think about what he just said, it's like guys want us to be underneath them so badly. They want to rule, they want to dominate, they need to control. It's a patriarchal society. They made the Bible to say God was a man and he created Eve and then made Eve out to be the enemy. And they made all this stuff all to make us feel like we are
Inferior to
like
them.
inferior to you. Like, but you literally come from us. This earth is called Mother Earth, Mother Nature. Come on. That's what I got from that part.
I just it feels like it's killing them to accept that what they believe might not be true.
Right. No, because I think they know this. Like, it doesn't take a genius to figure. He didn't have to break it down like this either. I mean, y'all have to know how biology works. We learned this in school.
They
Nothing.
don't.
It's not called Father Earth. It's not called Father Nature. It's anytime you talk about even natural disasters. A lot of them are named after women. They used to name them after women.
Right.
We, we do hold the power, but at the same time, and we do, as we hold the power, we still have to make them, you know, accountable. And I think they're conditioned, and so are we. But if we stand up and say, "Hey, you know, do this, this, and that," they got to start looking at themselves.
And they don't want to.
Yeah, because like you said, Aisha, we're so conditioned at this point, both men and women. I have these conversations at home too with my boyfriend because it is hard. It's hard for anyone that's been conditioned and indoctrinated to kind of remove yourself from that, so to speak. And so with guys and patriarchal system and this structure and this belief that y'all have in your minds that you are superior to women literally because you have a penis in between your legs and I don't. And so that makes you superior to me, which is a silly notion. Um,
Very.
that's going to take some waking up for them to realize that that's just not the case. I mean, you could be smarter than me, you can be, but we can be equals, and that's just going to take a lot from them to. Why would they not want to uphold a system that benefits them at the end of the day? It's privilege.
But let them tell it we're the ones that's benefiting because of feminism.
Yeah, we'll never benefit. With
Ever.
that, we'll never benefit. All right, let me play the next one.
Part three. You want to know why the emotional sex is so profound to so many people and people cannot grasp that concept? It's because sex and emotion fall into the category of those polarizing differences. Now, this sex category is only for the experience because having bodies does not mean that you know what you're doing. Getting slaved out like a rental car do not mean that you built for it tough. Think about when you're having good sex with a man. And I mean the utmost to the utmost, that bomb type shit. Where does your brain go? Because its actual anatomy is only half of the work. What sends you to the utmost is what's happening inside your head, which is why that same exact dick will feel different depending on how you feel about that man. Your brain will be telling you shit like, I love this man. This is all I ever want in life. I don't give a fuck about nothing else. This is what I'm made for. I love pleasing him. Oh my God, there's nothing I would not do for him. Is this neighborhood familiar to you? So you have this constant subconscious barrage of thoughts. And as these thoughts are circling through your head, the better and better he feels. And the deeper you go into these thoughts, the better he feels. You are literally being like stroked and pounded into a hypnosis, which is why after it's all said and done, for the most part, you want to lay there. You want to be held. You want to cuddle because your brain still hasn't cooled off. And as hard as you try to make it not happen, when you experience something like that repeated times, that will have a lasting effect on you and how you feel about that person. And until he takes you to the point of utter disgust, how you feel about him will remain for a very long time. Sex means something to you because in order for it to feel pleasurable to the point of orgasmic, your physical and your emotional side are both being pleased and taken to the utmost at the same time. The experience is different for a man. Astronomical sex for a man still involves the brain. Without the brain, buddy ain't getting up. Being able to rub up against the tree to get hard stop at 30. But it's what's happening inside of the brain that's different. You achieve your heights through physical and emotional submission. A man's heights are achieved through physical and emotional dominance. So why you telling yourself in your head, I love this man, he my everything? His brain is telling him, this fucking dick thirsty ass freak, this nasty ass bitch, this nasty ass freak just need dick. Non-stop is never enough for her. Familiar neighborhood, total dominance takes a man to his heights. So to involve an element of respect into that would affect him sexually. A man can respect his friends and care and love for his friends because he has no desire for them sexually. To many men, if they genuinely cared for women, they would lose that. You know what I'm saying? They would lose that. It would diminish to some aspect. To come to an equilibrium takes an emotional maturity that a lot of men don't have. And the men that have reached equilibrium are great lovers and husbands, where the rest of them just pounding. Most men can't make love. So how can they show love? Who shows what they can't make? Part three.
He ain't lying about that first part to women. So
Oh
I've
yeah,
been there.
definitely.
I've been there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I definitely have to have that mental as well as the physical. It both has to be there and both have to connect. So I definitely agree with what he said about the first part too.
The second part is kind of disheartening though,
Why? Okay, so what's disheartening about the guys part?
because it makes me feel like I have wasted like the points in my relationships where I have felt the way that he described. It's just like I was there by myself.
Mm,
Like I was believing that we were there together, and that's not the case at all. And
right.
it's kind of disheartening where it's just like, ugh, here I am wasting feelings.
But
Oh,
that's because now he explained also that you gotta, what's important is to be with somebody that is emotionally mature, and then you can have the best of both worlds. He didn't say that there are no men out there that are capable of, showing love and making love. He said that there are some, so that gives you an opportunity to say, hey, this is what I want, and I'm gonna look for it this way. Instead of, you'll know the signs how a person treats you. So, I mean, we're here to learn, right? We learn every day.
Yeah, we're here to learn. I know I think back um to just like the relationships that were like memorable for me.
mhm.
Excuse me. And when I was in it emotionally, and why it took me so long to kind of detach from certain situations. It is big, and why I was having a hard time not understanding why they couldn't see the love I had for them. If his based off of his logic, that means my feelings were more there than what I believe they had for me.
So wait, okay. So yeah, I see what you're saying because I've been in those relationships too where I know it's possibly like, dang, I probably gave more or felt more deeper or loved more than
Right.
this person did for me because I was putting more into something that
Correct.
wasn't
That
there,
wasn't real. That
right?
wasn't
That
true.
wasn't real, and it's all based on this connection that I thought we had. Like, we had this
Right.
chemistry, this connection. But then you can have those types that know that you like that. That is what women like. He obviously knows this, so you can have those types, or he could be one of those types that can easily trick women in giving you that mental connection while you're in the bedroom, that physical connection, and it's like it
Right.
all clicks together, and you think that y'all are having this
This
unique
moment. Yeah.
spiritual, this outer body moment with one another, and for him, it's not that. It's
It's
just
not that at all.
this, and for you, it's something so much bigger. But at the same time, I still got that is that disheartening. But I do understand what he was saying about guys because again, I mean we do have to acknowledge that they are different than us. They're wired different than us.
Right.
And that dominance nature, that dominance that they have to just all they know how to do is conquer. That is their job. Their job is to go out there, dominate in something, conquer it, move on.
Some of them are not even conquering though. So it's
They
like,
listen, they conquer it in their mind. So if they listen, even if Pookie on the block, he is conquering something in his mind. He has to. Because that's what makes you like, well, I guess then that would make you emasculated if literally in his mind or literally he knows he has not conquered over something or dominated something, then that would be the definition of emasculation, I guess. But in some ways, to him, to guys, especially the ones that are overly confident, they conquered something. They out there crushing it in their mind.
Right.
So that's all that really matters. And like this, like I think of guys who love the chase. They love the chase. They love the chase. And then it's like when they get you, they get disinterested.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got you. All right, I'm about to move on. That was this was cool.
Lord,
I got you.
mm, this stuff was hard to watch for me before I sent it
Oh
to you.
yeah, I think, and then the part when he was saying like, that's why, and like again, we keep on telling y'all, like I think guys do be in denial though, Miss Diva, like you said, because like y'all know exactly well, y'all like having emotional, y'all, it's easier for y'all to have emotional connections with your peer group, with your friends, than it is building that with a female, and that is because they cannot control their penis. That is what I think. I mean, this has been my theory for a while now.
But
I think that their manhood, their masculinity, that masculine energy is tied up through their sex and their sexual organs that they cannot control. And so the reason why they cannot build that intimate relationship with us without laying down with us and having sex, because just think about it. If you ever been in a relationship, or even like I could use my current relationship, like, and this is just a growth and like us talking or, you know, me telling him and stuff like that. Like some guys really struggle with intimacy without sex. Without it, like just because I get out the shower and okay, I'm naked, I come into the room. That don't mean I want, like, it just mean I just got out the shower. Can I put some lotion on and I'm trying to get dressed? Like it don't mean
He want to send you out into the world with his love.
right. Or like, can we just lay here, or can we just hold him, or can we, like, they do not understand, some of them, a lot of them, intimacy without that being involved at all.
But then
Because what we learned this back in school, they think about sex how many times a day? It really be playing on their mind.
Right.
But
And
then
so for me to ask you for this emotional connection, but you in your mind, when you around me, you thinking, damn, I can't fuck her. Damn, I can't, like he said, damn, I can't wait to get her upstairs. Oh, I know she want this shit. Like, oh, I'm gonna fuck that shit. Like that's all that's running in his mind, and I'm trying to have a conversation.
what trips me out is then you find the ones that think like that, and then all of a sudden they find that one girl they want, and if she don't want him, the tantrum that comes afterwards, you know what I'm saying? Like they spend all of this time, all of these years, you know, sex, or let me pretend to like her so that I can get the sex. But then when their feelings is involved and it's not reciprocated, then it's this tantrum, or they lose it. They have these whole emotional meltdowns, and it just is so ass backwards to me.
But you know what? Even that though, I think it's because of that chase dynamic. And she's something that he has not been able to conquer. And so that's the only reason why his feelings is attached at the moment, or so he thinks. Because she's playing hard to get. And I guess like Nick Cannon's logic, by Nick Cannon's logic, oh, she values herself. She is high value because she placed some high value on her vagina that she won't let my low value behind get to. And she got me jumping through all these hoops. I'm chasing her. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to impress her, and nothing is working to get this girl. Oh, she the girl of my dreams. I love this girl. Because she is not letting me have it. She's not. I think that's really all that is.
That is so weird. And you know why that's weird? Is if based on that logic is true. Listen to these men in this podcast that women won't do this, women won't do that, or is it the woman that you wanted didn't want you?
Yeah.
And now y'all are butthurt and angry at a woman that told you no. Look at the assaults that happen to women who just decline a man's advance because they can't handle the same energy that they're expecting us to deal with from them.
Right.
They
y'all want us to value ourselves, so that would have to mean I'm going to have to reject you, right? That would mean rejection. Like, listen, I just meant you. I don't want to do that. I'm not going over to your house, or let's just go on a few more dates, or I'd rather date you for a little while. I'm not comfortable yet. Whatever we do to withhold and abstain from having sex, because we don't have a problem in that area.
No,
they do, and then they get mad at that rejection that you just told me that you value me for.
And Lord knows let's not talk about the dates.
Your friends.
Yeah, let's not talk about the dates.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's so many terrible dates out there when they ask you to pay, or if you're not putting out, they want to put out their car. You got to find your way home. Yeah.
Some guys are asking for women to refund them the money for the date if they go on a date Yeah, it's been trending on TikTok
Oh, you know, it's getting bad
where
out here in these streets if they asking for refunds from us.
they're like if they took a woman out on a date and the one like let's just say I'll go on a date with Tim or whatever, and after the date I realize like, hey, me and him just didn't mesh well together, and I tell him up front like, thank you so much for the time we spent together, whatever. I just don't think that it'll work between us. I'm just not interested. Men have been sending cash app requests for their money back that they spent on
I
the
would have
date.
sent him a two cent and a FU. Cause you gotta pay to send a message like that.
Yeah.
2 cent FU. Like that's what I
Like
was
they don't even want to date. So it's like y'all can't keep saying, "Oh, there's no real women out here." How would you know? You're not even talking to even get to know anybody. How would you know?
Because they don't have anything to talk about.
That's
That's what.
not sex.
they just want sex. They just want the cheeks. That's it. They don't have anything. They don't have nothing to talk about, Aisha. You right. It'd be just like stuff float sex be floating in their brain and they can't be real and talk to you about that.
That's what I was gonna say. Because if you take sex off the table,
What's there to talk about for them?
right?
Yeah, but they could talk to their homies about the sports game, about whatever it is that they talk about with them. I don't know, barbershop talk about you, but they can't talk to you about much. It ain't much going on up there.
Well,
I
you
don't want to be around somebody that's not even well rounded anyway. Anyway,
right, but you remember it's a TikTok going around of that guy who's the rapper that was like, "Yeah, my homeboy got my heart."
His homies got they always been there.
Right though.
They've
So it's
been there
like
from the beginning.
that's why that other trend that was going around talking about, would you rather snitch on your homeboy or cheat on your girl? Man, I'm cheating on my girl. Wait, what? Okay. Like, you
I
didn't
see
even
that.
hesitate.
Are y'all all in the streets that y'all would have to snitch? Like, I don't know, but they dudes is funny. It's hilarious. Let
But
me.
then be angry talking about we can't even be in a relationship because you always listening to your homegirl.
Yeah, you always listen to your little
Sir. The
misery,
nerve.
all the stuff that they tell us.
Yeah, the nerve. You over there talking about your homeboy got your heart. When he get that?
Part 4. And you must have been reading my mind because that is exactly what this one was going to be about. When it comes to a man reaching emotional equilibrium, heterosexual women do not understand that y'all are really asking a lot from a heterosexual man. The heterosexual man that reaches physical and emotional equilibrium is the exception. He is not the rule. And I stated before that this type of man makes a great lover and a husband. He makes a great lover and a husband for the woman that you are now. But you have not always been this woman. Your wants and needs, your desires, your self awareness, your self concept, your self actualization, your self worth has not always been what it is today. And that's why I believe that straight women are requesting a lot from straight men. This isn't saying that you don't deserve it or that it is impossible, but we cannot ignore and we have to acknowledge the fact that these men will be required to do a lot of work. Now let's get to it. Because the goal is for them to reach physical and emotional equilibrium, we have to look at the biological and societal challenges that they have to face. In part 3, I discussed the differences, the polarizing differences actually, between the sexual heights between men and women. When you reach your sexual height, you want to be cuddled, you want to be held afterwards. What's the polarizing difference from that? A man could have just received the best mind-blowing sex of his entire life and reached his utmost of utmost height. He can still put on his pants and leave. Unless he has physically exhausted himself, a man can have an explosive orgasm and be out the door in 5 minutes. Why do you think that difference is? Both of you have achieved an equal height, but your brain is telling you to lay there and be held, and his brain is telling him to leave. It's the same reason why the most effective birth control would be for men, not for women. Put 20 men on an island full of women, and they can populate the entire country. That's because at the primal core of a man, sex is not an emotional task, which is why in the preview I stated that sex alone means nothing. love, intimacy, all of those things have to be achieved through another way. But thinking that you can acquire those things from sex is flawed. If a man doesn't love you without the sex, he will not love you with it. If men were as emotionally attached to sex as you were, men would not be able to populate. And we are a civilized society, so no one needs a man to populate like a rabbit. But at the end of the day, he is a man. And at his core, that is what he does. He is not genetically built to be an emotionally sexual person. This is why his heights are achieved through total dominance. Stay tuned, part 5 and 6 about to get juicy.
Does that not just seem like excuses? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Because if all their need is to populate, they shouldn't be leading anything in this planet.
Yeah, I mean, I said that all their job is to do is to conquer and to dominate over things. But yeah, I mean, that reminds me, like, was it a saying when they was like, their job is to seed the earth. They're just like they supposed to go out here and spread their seed.
Right.
Then do that and let somebody who has, more than one train of thought execute things like our politics and things of that nature. Because if y'all can't see past the sex to do anything that would benefit anybody else, why are y'all in charge of any damn thing?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. They're just, because to me, I know he's right, but it still seems like it's giving them excuses to not be shit. That's just me.
Yeah, it's like he's really making them seem very basic and well, I mean, I think they are kind of basic, no lie, but he makes them seem very basic, like very simple. And this is all we're here for, and that's it. And y'all trying to make us do all this extra, and it's just not gonna happen. And that's just what it is. But
you want them to be emotional, and that you're just asking a lot. No, we're asking for them to maybe read a book and educate yourself, and then maybe sit with a therapist and evaluate your own feelings, and then don't try to, penetrate anything with a warm hole, and actually try to form some type of meaningful relationship with somebody. And if you can't do that, then why don't we? Never mind. Let me shut up. That was hateful.
You know what? This is why
my thought was getting ready to go left. That was hateful.
Their masculine energy and all of that stuff is tied to their sexual behaviors, appetite, all that. Because I feel like, just like Aisha said, when you said it's attractive, a guy that has discipline in this area, I feel like that is something. And I feel like if this is where their energy is all wrapped up in, which is sex, because we already know that's an organ and that's the area where they're weak at and that they cannot control. When a man becomes disciplined in this area, I do feel like they probably could go out there and lead and do this and do that because they don't have that on the brain all the time. When they discipline themselves in this area, and that's crazy that it's tied, and their energy or their whatever, their masculinity is tied up to this. It's basic for us. This ain't all that. This is not that deep for us. For us, it's not. But for them, it is such a deep thing that if they got more control over this, and if they valued their manhood as they should, then they probably could do bigger and better things. Just like he said, men should be on birth control. How is it ever that we, the ones who have to regulate, be responsible for intercourse, sex, procreation, and all this stuff, when just like I do agree with him with that, they should be the ones on the birth control.
Agreed.
I think so too, because let them go through all the things that, or at least half of what we have to go through as mothers. I bet they wouldn't open their fat mouths to complain about Jack.
And yeah, they're the ones that can see the whole earth. You could put them on an island, and by next year, all the women on that island will be pregnant 2 times over.
But see, even if they're so accustomed to just dropping the sperm off and going on about their business, it shouldn't even just be like that. If you are going to sit here and try to quote unquote populate the earth, your behind need to be sitting there handling your business. Stop yelling, "You such a man, you can't take care of your responsibilities," or you're not even trying to.
Maybe he's coming at it like from an animalistic standpoint because
Right.
in nature, just like with plants and everything, like when you think of fertilization and during mating season and all that stuff, that really is all they're there for. The female, she needs to go
Biologically.
out there and mate. I need to have these babies to keep us going. I'm looking for a mate, so she's gonna do her little mate call or whatever. Just like the bird comes through or the bee comes through and fertilize the flower, and then go on about their business. That's what they do. So maybe in that way, in that animalistic sense, then yes, I agree with this.
Well, if that's what they're gonna do, then they need to stop asking what we bring to the table when all they're bringing is sperm.
Yeah, they just got the sperm in the cup for you. That's what.
You can't ask what's at the table.
I need to put that sperm under a magnifying glass or something to make sure it's not bent or broken. May
Yeah,
not even be any good.
That part.
let me see. We is almost done here, and I'm pull up that video you was telling me about. We on part 5.
Oh, okay.
Part 5. You have a man at his genetic core that pretty much is almost programmed to have sex without any attachment. And the way in which that feels the best to him to do is through total dominance, ownership, almost disrespect. So if you add the element of respect and care into that, can reduce his that. Factor in the gay man. The gay man is the man that has that respect for you, that love for you, that care for you. But when you added in those factors, guess what happened? He has no sexual desire for you. So the challenge that a straight man will have to face in order to add in that love and care, you see how big that challenge is and how completely different from him it can be. Adding in emotional regard and care for another person diminishes a man's sexual fire, which is also why the same gay men that love and care and respect you but don't want to have sex with you treat their gay partners with the same vitriol that straight men treat you. A man is a man. A gay man can have sex with total dominance with no problem, identical to a straight man. Once he has in the respect, his fire is also diminished as well, just like a straight man. Now that you see the physical challenges that a man will have to face, let's look at the societal and emotional challenges he would have to face. Although we may be in a patriarchal society, a man is going to tailor his behaviors around whatever he has to do. He's going to do whatever he has to do because he wants to get the vagina. Remember that is always the end game because women are also affected by the patriarchy. Over time, it seems that women have forgotten that they held power. So instead of making men work for the pussy, they were told that they were good enough for it. They got it in middle school, they got it in high school, they got it in college, and they got it everywhere in between. And they didn't have to work for it. They got it because they were good enough. They were good enough because of who they were, just by being a man. They sat back and watched you fight each other over them. You got pregnant by them just to prove that they were yours. You took them back when you knew that they were cheating. They financially abandoned you. They physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually abused you, etc., etc., and they were still good enough to get the pussy. You have trained them from the time that they were little boys that they were always good enough. I've even heard women say out of their own mouths that a guy would show up and he would stink, and they would be too scared to ask him to bathe. They would still go through with having oral sex and sex with him, knowing this man had terrible hygiene. And then you lie and tell them how good they've been in bed. You fake orgasms. Since the beginning of time, you have told these men that they were amazing. It took you 35 years to see your worth. If you want them to change what has worked for them for that 35 years, you told them they were doing fine. You're asking for a lot. Part 5.
Mm.
That was deep.
Yeah.
He kind of laid into us a little bit. Like he's like, what? He came for us in that one.
Okay, he did, but I have never, ever, ever, ever allowed someone to have BO, and we've
Yeah,
been.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah. The dirty hygiene part, I'm just like, no.
You don't get if you ain't got BV, you don't get it after that.
He sure
Right.
is.
Agreed.
Now, so
Do we need to save all his videos in case TikTok try to take his shit down?
I need you to
this
send
is
it
on
to
his
me.
backup page. This is on his backup page. I think I saved them. No, because you know what? They might take it down. You're right. I don't know, child, but
As soon as he circulate and the guys figure out what he done said, they like the mass report.
girl, they don't never respond to anything good.
No. They don't never want to respond to anything that forces the mirror in front of their face.
Right. That's what I was just when they have to take accountability and
Mhm.
explain their actions. They want to stay in the way they are. They don't want to necessarily grow. Why? Because,
Yeah.
like he said, we've allowed them to be just good enough for so long.
Yeah, we stroke their ego basically. We know that okay, he's a guy. They get. I mean, they emotional in that sense that they have these big egos, and you don't want to deflate it. So we have to stroke it a little bit. Oh, you were great, and yeah, you remember when you was younger, might have been a little bit younger, and it was like, did you come? Like, yeah, I did. Like, yup, I showed.
But see, I'm wondering, like, even younger, and we might not even known that we didn't have an orgasm or whatever the case may
Mhm.
be. As
Yeah,
we went through that transition of leaving high school, going to college, and being out in clubs and different stuff like that, a lot of the times we would say, yeah, we achieved our orgasm just so that we can ensure we made it home safe. Because
right.
they would have the tantrums and things like that. So it's like I get exactly where he's coming from, and I 100% agree with it. I just know that with him being a man, and I'm pretty sure, did he say that he was a gay?
I don't know. No, he never said.
I don't know if how it works for the alphabet mafia is what I call them. Um I just don't, when you're a woman, especially a black
Mhm.
woman, and you need to ensure that you get home safe, sometimes you do just say things like, "Oh yeah, it was
You
great,"
go
or
along.
whatever, because you know how fragile their ego is, more fragile than anything. That ego get crushed, it can get you hurt.
Mhm.
And so I get what he's saying, where you told them they're amazing their whole life. Like even with my son, it's like I'm gonna pour love and light into him, but I'm going through a time right now where it's like, listen, there's things that you have to do, and you need to be accountable for your behavior. I had an older black woman tell me, "Don't be telling that baby about accountability. The hell I ain't."
What?
He's 7. He's making decisions that have consequences.
Yeah,
And
first
either he's either gonna do what he needs to do and make better choices. Cause these tantrums ain't cute at 7, it won't be cute at 17, it's gonna be hell at 27. So
time.
no. But I agree. I agree with him what he said, what he said. I'm with him on that. I'm there.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right, let me.
We got one more part.
I think we have one more. Yes, the finale, part 5.
Miss Diva, your voice
Yeah,
got
part
deep.
6. Do you
Um,
recognize how much work that you are requiring of these men? Do you see how challenging it's going to be? Not only that, but honestly, the majority of women are not on the same page as you. Maybe of a certain age group, but about time the men of that age group reach that age, they're already ruined. It's like you can raise your standard, but the men don't necessarily have to. They can just go and find another girl who is okay with their lower standard because there's going to be plenty. Now, circling back, when you find a good one and you want that equilibrium, you can do it the same way that's worked for most exceptions, which is kind of long and drawn out. But eventually, the love that he had for her was able to mesh together. Or I can give you the cheat code. Because the way it works for the exceptions is he has found a new source to power his fire. His fire is no longer fueled by dominance. And that is what makes him the exception. But here go the cheat code. Men may not be emotional, but they're mental. Have you ever had a man that pops Viagra and you think, oh man, his dick don't work? Think about this. If he don't need to pop a Viagra to jack off, the dick work. Ain't nothing wrong with the dick. It's a mental block. And he popping Viagra like Kevin Samuels gonna go into cardiac arrest because he doesn't realize that it's a mental block. Every man has a combination to the safe. The combination to the safe is what can make him nut just like that. But sometimes a man just want to just get one off real quick. Every man can make himself come in like 2 minutes, but only he know the combination to the safe. He know what position to lay in, what thought to think, what to do, where to rub, how to hold. He know exactly what to do to make himself just like that. You need to get the combination to the safe because in that safe, there's a key to a dark room. And this shit about to get real interesting because trying to find a new source to power his fire is too much work. And that shit might not work at the end of the day. So you need to jack this motherfucker all the way up. In that old Bible story when they was about to get thrown into the furnace was 5 times hotter. You need to make this shit 5 times hotter. You gotta make them comfortable enough to jack off in front of you. You gotta make them comfortable enough to have soft dick in front of you. And I ain't talking about just like medium dick. I'm talking about soft, little. Now, once you have done that, you have the combination to the safe. Now, all you gotta do is get the key to the dark room. He's comfortable enough to jack off in front of you and have small dick in front of you. You need to find out where his mind is going when he jacks off to make himself come into minutes. What are those thoughts? Where is it going? Now, only do this with the man that you love and that you will be with. Because you might hear some heavy shit, some socially unacceptable shit. Once he tells you the thing that gets him off that he don't want nobody to know, he yours forever. And you better be able to keep up because sex is explosive. And I know because I mastered it. Explosive is the standard. Parts.
He a trip.
Oh God.
That dude is a trip.
I'm just gonna get me a good toy. Because I ain't gotta talk to the toy.
I ain't doing all that. Wait, that's a lot of steps. First, I gotta make somebody comfortable. You know, that's jacking off in front of somebody though. Like, depending on who the person might have been, because like that's not a big deal. But then I have to ask what you be thinking about when you doing that.
And what if he don't talk like that?
Yeah, and what if what he tell me it's like, oh,
like some stuff that we can't say on YouTube so that your live don't get banned.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying?
I ain't prepared for that. And then I guess depending on how dark that room is and what it is, of course he ain't gonna leave because I got the cheat code, like you said. Like, so is that a good thing or a bad thing?
But okay, just roll with me for a second. We got to do all that to figure it out. But do the homeboys already know that for why they're so emotionally attached to him?
Because he said it was only something that he know.
Yeah. But they be gossiping too. Okay, so I don't know. I just think I'm gonna invest in a great toy because I don't have to talk to it. Because that's a lot.
Hey,
and to deal with my feelings too.
See, I can't get with this last part. Like, I am feeling kind of underwhelmed. I didn't watch it all earlier, but I'm underwhelmed by this last part.
Why?
Just because I just feel like, okay, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get you that comfortable. You gonna tell me what I guess your fantasy is that make you go like that, or your fetish or whatever it is, how to build a sex room type stuff.
Right.
You tell me that, and then we can then do that together. Or you're gonna tell me that, and now that I know that, and you know that I know that, then that's gonna be what turn you on because I know. I don't know.
Is that what's gonna be to get the ring? Like, is this like? Is that gonna make you stay if I get pregnant? Like, I
just think he have nothing else to say. So this is what he ended it off with because I don't. No. No.
Because there's no guarantee that even once you know all of that, you got one or two options. If he's not going to marry you once you know the cheat code, he's going to become a stalker because he ain't going to want you to tell nobody his business.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, is this like entrapment? Because now I know your secret. So you know what? You dang sure ain't going nowhere now.
You can't leave.
Exactly. No, that just sounds desperate. I don't need a cheat code. But that mental thing is serious. That mental thing is serious and can affect them and stuff. Yeah. I think that's why we do the ego stroking too, because you know what, if a guy ain't feeling too confident, that can mess him up.
Right.
So you gotta build them up sometimes, especially if you in a relationship. Maybe not so much if y'all just meeting. So he down to smash anyways because you something new and fresh and exciting.
Right.
But then as y'all get in and being in a relationship and stuff like that, or y'all seriously dating or talking, it's just like you sometimes gotta hype them up a little bit, get them hyped so that they can be like, oh yeah, she ready. Like, you gotta hype them up.
Right.
Yeah, but see, hyping them up when they don't even know how to do foreplay for us still seems counterproductive.
I don't know.
Like I'm over here trying to really think about this thing. Like I'm really trying to be open minded about it. I really am. I just don't know that it is. This don't sound bad. I don't know if it's worth it if they not willing to meet you halfway. Like is he putting in that same work to be able to know how to be as intimate so that you can be as emotionally fulfilled as far as you're going to sexually fulfill him?
No, because I
Like
think that depends on the guy. I mean, all guys aren't selfish though.
most of them are though.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Quite a few is the word that I'll use for TikTok. Quite a few. So that they don't all feel included. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot of effort. Like there's a website that takes Klarna for a good decent toy. So and I don't have to talk to the toy after the fact. So if no. I think I'm gonna bow out. I think I'm good.
I want to go back because I don't know if he said in part 5. So like we already know that I said in on one of his videos that sex isn't an emotion for men. I mean, love isn't an emotion for men, and that I don't think that they show love in the same sense that we do, or feel it in the same sense that we do.
Right.
It's definitely different. Like even with children, because when we have our children, when we birth children, of course, it's that natural, that instant bond and connection, and it's just like the love of your life that you just had, and it's just so intense. You're so filled with emotions, but I feel like even then, that doesn't come for them. At least the ones who remain around and our fathers, that don't. It's not the
That
same.
don't hit them.
Yeah, it don't hit them the same that it hits us. So I do feel like they're disconnected in a sense from their emotions, and on that capacity, on that level, perhaps they'll never reach a level of emotion where they'll feel that strongly.
But remember we had a conversation earlier. We had a conversation earlier and you had stated like with sex being so important to them, you and your partner or whatever, you had said, you were tired and you didn't really want
Mhm.
to be intimate, and he took that as like rejection.
Yeah,
And it was like, no, I really am just tired, honey. Like it's
they
not a rejection of you, it is physically I need to get some sleep.
they put so much emphasis into their penis. I'm telling you. That is where their masculinity come from. And it's like, oh, you turn them away. I'm not in the mood. And they just like feel so defeated. Something wrong with me. How could you not want to do this? Like, how could you not want some of this? Like, I don't know how they take it. But yeah, he was bummed out.
Well, if you think about it, though, the part of the reason is because it's like, is it 5 or 6 women to one man? And
Uh-huh.
it doubles. Not every man is a straight man. So that number's a bit higher. Gosh.
I don't know. This is ended way differently than I thought it was going.
But you know what he said though, also? I
What?
don't know if he said it in part 6 or in part 5. I forgot which one.
Mm-mm.
But basically, what I got from it, like our accountability, that is like we like, and I guess I can almost see what guys be trying to say, even though the knucklehead ones be saying it the wrong damn way, and like it sounds like they're contradicting themselves, but they be saying how we be wanting to have hot girl summer, we be running in the streets, we don't want to settle down when we younger, and then we hit like he was saying, you 35 now, and now you know yourself, you done found yourself, and you expect for him to catch up. And for them, they just feel no reason to do that. They've been doing it this way for so long that if you're not down with it, I'll just go and find another girl that don't really know herself like that anyways. And I know she gonna be down with the bare minimum.
But if that's the case, then why don't they just go settle for the one that will adapt?
So
Like
it's like,
stop jumping down our backs, like yelling from your microphones you get from Jeff Bezos about how we gonna die alone. But if you don't want us anyway because we won't settle for the bare minimum, then go find a woman that will.
Yeah. So I don't know if I take that as a lose-lose situation for us, because it's like, okay, you're older now and now you do know yourself. You do have this self-worth that you built up for yourself. You know more. You know what you want. And so now you just want to meet this guy to come along and he's gonna want the same thing. And it's like, yeah, nah, it don't work that way for us.
But see, we're gonna have to change and adapt and divest from that. Because even though that's the lovely idea,
Mm-hmm.
our peace of mind is being wrecked. Like there's girls that I know, well, women, we're all grown. There's women that I know that I grew up with in high school and stuff, educated, beautiful, got their stuff together. And then want to meet the person like what you just described. And then it's like, well, what's wrong with me for why I haven't found that person? Like, we really might have to divest from the idea that once we find ourselves, then all we got to do is have the man. When our peace of mind and our happiness and mental clarity is what's gonna be the most important at this point. Because any woman at this point can go to a sperm bank and have a baby if your overall goal is to be a mother. But to just settle for the bare minimum just to say you got a man because you've now figured out who you are even though he hasn't, it is still an unfair situation for the woman at that point.
Yeah, but
So is this subject and this is this do you guys feel like it only pertains to our community, or would you say other groups go through the same thing?
I think maybe other groups go through the same thing, but maybe not to the level that the black community is going through, because a lot of these topics is being discussed amongst us.
Right. Okay.
Because you have the educated black woman that's older, and just look at Kitten Hill Samuel's platform. It was bashing older black educated women. How y'all are gonna die alone? How y'all the single mamas? How y'all did? Like he made his net worth off of what we wasn't doing in their eyes. You know what I'm saying? And you had a bunch of knuckleheads running up behind him, supporting it and backing it, building their own platforms on it. And then when black women say, hey, you know what, maybe it's just not meant for me to have the white picket fence, but I can have a brown fence and it's around my house, and I can have my garden like Jody's mama did, and I'm happy where I am in my decisions. Then it's like, oh, you're gonna die alone because you didn't settle for mediocrity.
Well, Jody mama had a man.
That is true. That is
but you
true.
know what? He was also older.
He was older.
He
Melvin
was
was
older. Yeah,
older.
Mel was older. Mel done went to jail. He just wanted to settle, come home, find him a woman,
Want to settle down.
work on them cars, and settle.
Yeah, he wanted to settle down. Melvin wanted to settle.
Right.
That's the difference.
But you know what? I think Aisha, to answer, I think this as far as the psychology of how men are and this, like how they are when it comes to this topic, and them attaching a lot of their energy and prowess and all that bravado, dominance to their sexual organ. I think that's the same, because that's just a male thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what differs is our values are different. And what we're taught, like you were saying, like, are we raising them to think or have these ideas? And then how, like, I just think it's our values that come into play also. And then for white guys, I feel like let's take them for example, right? Their set of values is different, because I feel like it is probably drilled in their head and expected by their family, especially if they go off to college, you getting sent away on this full ticket, I'm paying for your education. Your job is, and even like those little white girls, your job is to go away to college, and you're going to come home with a fiance. Like they
Correct.
like they promote marriage, even if he gonna cheat on her too.
Yeah.
Whatever. They promote marriage. So whereas they probably still are out there hoeing around, it's just about sex. I probably don't love my wife, but whatever. I need a wife to,
Because
for
if I
status.
don't, my inheritance is based off of
Right,
me
for
having this
status.
wife.
And the white girl, she knows she need to go off to college. You're gonna get educated, but we really need you in college to find you a husband.
Hmm.
So you can come home with your husband and then be a housewife with your college degree that you're not going to get to use.
Right.
So I just think it's the values are different.
Okay.
That's what I think, anyways. But what do you think?
I actually I agree with you because I do have a lot of friends. They're all married actually,
Yeah.
and they're getting married a few years after graduating college, and some of them stay together, some of them don't, but they definitely get married. It seems almost like you gotta drag a brother to the damn
Oh
altar.
yeah, you gotta drag him kicking and screaming.
Because it's not valued in our community, and
And I
they
don't know why.
in their households, like, is there conversations? Like, I said, is there conversations? And y'all parents is like, y'all need to get married. Like, you need to get married and settle down, and this is what's expected. You need, I don't know,
Right. But
to go out
you
there.
you also have to think about we kind of talked about this a couple podcasts ago about what's the word for a woman that is misogynist?
Internalized misogyny, or she a toxic femininity.
Yeah, well, when you're raised by a single mother who don't respect women or feel like other women are her enemy,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have a skewed view of how you should treat a woman. And I think it comes down to that as well. If your mother's raising you to value your body and who you share your body with, and look at the woman that you chose because you are discerning,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have a better pick and better outcomes. You know what I mean? But if we're raising our men, our young men, to have this viewed skew about the opposite sex, this is what the outcome's going to be.
Right.
I definitely can agree with that, because I feel like if they were more disciplined in this area, a lot more of them would be more focused, more driven to do other things,
Right.
chasing us and making it not make sense, and worried about us, and just they would be driven to do other things and to master other things, and you would have this discipline with yourself, because I think that is the key to their discipline, is what it seems like. You would be more disciplined in what you're out here doing.
And that little side talk or that group think, because we're all at different levels in our life, we become a part of group think, and you have to self-correct yourself. They won't be able to get sucked into the bull crap.
Right.
They can still make their own decisions while just being entertained by conversations that's nonsense. Like,
I mean, because just think of how many of these dudes out here who have been taken down by females because they know, listen, I could go in there, or she'll get sent in there. Like, listen, your job is to go in. I want you to, seduce him.
Mm-hmm.
And then she go in, seduce him, and now you are effed up in the game because you done fell for it like an idiot because all you saw was some pussy.
the booty. That's one thing about Black community. They love them some ass, man.
They the easiest, especially Black men. They are the easiest to
manipulate.
Yes, the easiest to manipulate, because it's like y'all have no self control.
None.
But I mean, at what point in time should the self control be taught?
So, do you want to be sexualized? Like, is it like, do you want to be sexualized? Do you want me to use you as a piece of meat? Do you think
Them
that's
being
sexual?
sexualized is frowned upon if a Black woman does it.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them who prefer palm colored women feel like them being sexualized makes them the most desired men on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
We've
But
seen
why give
videos
somebody
of
that
that.
much power and leverage to say that your opinion matters that much? I don't think so.
That one video of that guy where his girlfriend was a palm colored community member, and she told him, being with the Black guy does not level up my status with a white guy. And he was like, I have to disagree. Sir, you're not a white male. And she's a white woman. So even in that context where that woman was telling this black man, like, hey, you know, because y'all desire us, like that doesn't up our status within the white community because y'all desire us. And he really tried to argue her down. And I'm like, so you're telling her lived experience as a white woman is not accurate because in your mind, you're the most desired. In your mind, you have a false sense of having this power. And in your mind, her experience can't be right because what you believe is right.
But then he would have to self, like, to really think about if he accepted what she said, that means that he would lose value in himself, and so he wouldn't agree to it. He wouldn't want to accept that.
No, he absolutely never accepted that.
Mm.
And like people were having the conversation, it was like, this woman is telling you guys. He was like, well, it's such a small percentage of black men. And if we want y'all, that levels y'all up. And she was like, no, that's not how that works. No, that's not true. Well, I have to disagree. Who are you disagreeing with? That's her experience.
And she's literally a Caucasian woman telling
She's
me.
literally the woman to the man who has the power that you achieve and wish to have. Just like I have you seen that one where they're like the boyfriend haul and they're like, oh, I got the boy, I got him, and he's 6 foot this and he's this, that, and the third, and they're listing off all these attributes the men have.
Mm-mm.
There's videos going around. Is one that's going around. The woman looks Middle Eastern, short, and her husband is like 6'2", 6'3", and she was like, "Yeah, I'm doing a boyfriend haul," and he's just standing there grinning with his shirt off. She's like, "Yeah, he's 6'2", and I had to send him back once before, but he came back, and he's a thoroughbred, full Nigerian," and I'm just like, so.
God.
And he's just standing there grinning. He's laughing. And everybody
So
who
you cattle,
duetted it
huh?
was like, so you don't even realize how the fetishizing has turned into y'all standing here grinning and smiling like y'all on the auction block. And some of them is just like, oh, I'm desired. I'm more desired by women of other races. Baby, you don't even get what's happening here. You're just standing like it's deep and they
Have to
don't get
send them
it.
back. Send them back to what, Nigeria?
No, like it's pretty much like it comes off as like the auctions where they used to sell people that look like us.
Oh
Wait,
boy.
they had the auction.
Huh.
Child, I ain't see these videos.
Yeah, it's I want to say I do edit it. It's recent on my page.
Oh my God.
And he's just like,
Mm-mm.
because she's like, oh, honey, we're doing a boyfriend haul. It's a trend. And he's just standing there with his shirt off, grinning. And, well, what are you talking about, honey? What are you talking about? Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, ha, ha, I'm thoroughbred. Ha, 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 ha.
Wow.
Sir, baby, where is your mama? Like,
Your sister, like, make her take that down right now.
God.
nobody, I mean, it's trending now. It's
And this
out
is
there
a new
now.
trend. This is a new like you know what? I hate people. That's why I hate. I sometimes I be hating these trends when I be seeing them. I'll be like, what the hell?
It's on my page because I saw it before. Oh, what happened?
I'm not sure because she's got us here, but we'll just stay.
Okay. It was just like, no, wait a minute now. No, but it's really sad because it's almost like some of the black men have no clue, like even about our own history, enough to know how inappropriate that is, like how degrading it is to them as black men, and just standing there, grinning, happy, feeling like he a trophy.
That's kind of actually very sad though.
It was. It's everybody who duetted that video. We all were just looking like, so, sir, you don't realize what's happening here?
Apparently not, or it's so above him, and it's caught on to trending that Even if he disagrees with it, he's trending. So that's what's
Right.
important.
Right.
Child, I don't know what just happened. It just StreamYard just cut completely off and said I got kicked out the studio. How I get kicked out my own studio?
That's what we were sitting there. We was like, what happened?
It was just like blue. I'm on your page now. That's where I got kicked off at. I was telling you I'm on your page.
It's on there. It's like a duet.
Is it with the guy with the dreads and the glass? I don't know people names. You know who?
No. It's not what consciously. No. It's with the Bates guy, dark skinned guy. He got kind of like short black hair. And then it's a lady, Stephanie LaShawn. She's in one of the boxes.
Is Mr. Bats in one of them?
Yes.
It's that one. I got it. Let me pull it up.
It's that one. And I was just like, oh, po baby, he don't even get it. He just standing there looking pretty.
Oh my God.
Was he beautiful? God.
Oh, he was fine now.
Thing about a boyfriend haul, and here is boyfriend haul.
Well, we probably can't see this. I'm gonna have to go to the page.
Guys, so I know a lot of you guys have been asking.
Go back in. Yeah, go down. Go one more. There you go, because that's the original one I saw.
Yeah, I think I got my internet is cutting up.
That's terrible.
Well,
and she said my boyfriend, and then he was like, "Don't you mean your husband?"
Yep.
It's her husband?
It's her husband.
Let me see if oh yeah, see, my internet. This internet is messing up. But how is yeah. Okay. Well, we'll watch another time. I'll try it again. But that is crazy.
Yeah. She's just like, my boyfriend, huh? He was like,
yeah, guys, so I know a lot of you guys.
Oh my God. You know what?
It came back. You would think this was a Mercury retrograde. Okay.
It freaking came back.
I've been asking about a boyfriend haul, and here is boyfriend haul. So I got him so long ago. I got him like about 16 years ago. But I had to return him one time. It was a long time ago, but I returned him and he came back better than ever. I like to go for like a chocolate on chocolate, so black on black. I love like pure bread. This is a pure bread. I'm confused on what you're doing. We're giving them a haul. So this is pure bread, Nigerian from the motherland. I don't like to crossbreed. We got the full Nigerian here. What else? One really good thing about this one is it cooks, it cleans. Actually, no, it doesn't cook. I take that back. But not this season's one. We're working on it.
I do everything else.
Alright, guys. So
what in the world? Like,
and he's just like oblivious. That's what made it worse.
It cooks. It doesn't cook. It cleans.
This season, this one.
She had to send it back, and she likes the pure breads.
Mm-hmm. No crossbreeds.
The fudge is a crossbreed.
I mean, because technically, when y'all have a child, it's going to be a crossbreed.
That part.
You know what? That's him. That is his problem. Why? And this is other people are doing this?
Other people are doing this.
Wow.
Stephanie LaShawn, the one that's in the purple, she saw it with I think they were white. It was like a white male and female. And she was like, okay, now I'm waiting to see a white girl do this with a black man and see how well it go off on TikTok. And then this one popped up shortly after she did that TikTok.
Wow.
He's like, what? What? Like,
that is embarrassing.
Baby, you don't get it. When I do edit, I said, this look real familiar. You can really tell when people don't read. A boyfriend haul of her husband.
Right.
Because
Where's
that's
the
not weird at all.
where's the respect?
Where's the respect? Like, that's degrading to him. And he don't even get it.
Oh no.
Oh
I'm lost for words.
I'm reading these comments. Child, I don't understand it, but yeah, I think it's just something. Yeah, I don't know. All I got though with our son. Let me go to the child. Y'all, it's going on to. I'm done with that one. Let me go to the takeaway. All I got from this today is, you guys, that men, the key to their heart, not even their heart, but the key to getting them is through sex. Like sex and their penis drives them. It's the driving force that fuels their fire. As he said in several of his part videos, it fuels their fire is through sex in their penis. And if you can control that, God bless you. But once you do, you will have him. That's what I got from it.
What I take from it is, I think as women, especially Black women, we need to be more hyper aware of protecting ourselves before we engage ourselves in situations. Especially when, based off of the videos we watch, these men lack self control and self awareness of their actions. And if we don't want ourselves hurt in the long run, we need to be a few steps ahead and know what we're dealing with when we're dealing with it so that we're protecting ourselves. Because at the end of that video, it just comes off as there's excuses for why they lack self control and accountability. And if we choose to deal with it and have our feelings wrapped up in it, then it still somehow comes out to be our fault. So we just need to move with better intent in order to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
My takeaway basically is to protect myself at all costs. I'm not putting the power in another person's hands. And any kind of interaction that I have, I'm going to make folks accountable, and that's it. And if they don't want to accept accountability or try to learn, then that person can't be in my space. Right. So that's where I'm at with it. But we both sexes need to. We still got a lot of growing to do, Right. So.
All right, yeah, that is the end of that. We are going to have to come back and do another thing. I don't know what it's going to be about, but we will see y'all next weekend or next week on another convo for Black women. See you guys later.
All right.